Well, technically I was done haying last week. But what I decided to do was go out and rake this meadow over again. Because there was a lot of spots, even now there's still hay laying here. I wanted to get up as much of that as I could, because it's going to be a problem when I come in here and try to level out all these big pocket gopher mounds. Though, the rake and the baler kind of leveled some of them already, but they need more. But I think like this, where you got a high mound, I think I can get it with the tumble bug. Hook in and then dump it in a low spot and do that all over in here. Well, it isn't all really rough, but there's a lot of it that's got big pocket gopher mounds. Right there is where the raspberries are on this end, and there's a lot of little popple trees starting, so I avoided those. But I see back there's some little popples that are just dying because they can't get enough light because of the big ones there. But I'd like to see those spread out more, so I'm going to leave them go and leave the raspberries go. This is a view from the south part of the meadow I showed you before from way on the other end. And my stock pond is right on the other side of these willows. But you can see it's rough ground for haying. And it ain't like they're all old pocket gopher mounds. Here's fresh digging. So I got a pile of traps, and I'm going to have to go at them, though. You look at it and you think, oh my God, that's like an endless deal here. But if I can put a dent on them, if the hawks and the owls get a few. But I got to get this leveled out. But I think with the tumble bug and then my little pull behind grader, it goes on the 3-point, I think I could flatten it out some. I left this patch of plum trees. A rabbit just ran across. She's a haven for rabbits too. I left this patch of plum trees, but I might change my mind and take these out, because these are the really small, there's a lot of different types of wild plums. These are those really small, hard ones that really aren't very good. So this whole patch might just go out of here. It would make it easier, because I've got to kind of go around and around. But that area there is bad for pocket gophers, and this low spot in here is tough. There's a lot of bouncing around. You can't go fast, and it's tough on equipment. But I think I can knock them down with the tumble bug. So it'll take a while, but anything would be an improvement. He's just way too rough. But here, where it's low ground, they really went at her. But you can see, the baler, the pickup digs in when you hit them. So I got to do something with them. And this part in the middle here, I've got a lot of logs laying odds and ends that I have a purpose for, but I had parked them here. Well, I got to get them out of here so I can clean this all up. Because you can see, that's really good June grass, which is why what the horses are doing, they come out here now to get that fresh regrowth, because that's what they like. But these logs are all basswood, but I have a purpose for them. But if I get this hill cleaned off, then I have a pretty big open area. But I got to come down now. It's dry, the water table is down. So I'm going to take the backhoe and dig the stock pond deeper. Because when I dug it out, I dug it with the tumble bug. And you can only go so deep. Well, now I can get in there with the backhoe and dig it out. But those are a nuisance. Otherwise, there is good grass in here. I've got, I think, 75 or 80 bales out of here the first time through. You know, so next year, I would, oh, yeah, I think I got more than, I think I got 100 and some out of here. But I could easily double that next year if we get rain earlier, because this was dry this spring. Now we've had rains, but it was dry this spring. But if I can clear these pocket gophers out, because, oh, they make it rough going. You know, you got to take her slow, and you're constantly plugging up the sickle. But she is rough ground. Now, if I can get that home, I normally carry 15 on there. I got a few more on. So I'm going to have to watch her, or I'll be picking them up again. But I don't dare leave them out here because the horses like them. The horses will tear a bale apart if it's laying out here. I had them pull one out of the baler. You know, there was one sitting in the back of the baler overnight, and in the morning, nothing but twine left. They got all the grass they could want, but they pulled it out of the baler. But now I'm done haying, I believe. Now I just got to deal with all these mounds. But my idea was to get as much of this grass up, because that is going to cause problems with both the grader and the tumblebug. You know, grass catches and clogs in there. What I really wish I had was a small disc. And just disc it lightly, you could level her out. You know, not digging down into the roots, but just knocking these tops down. I do have a drag, and once I get the tumblebug and the grader through here, then I'll hit it with the drag. And I know I'll catch a lot of grass on the drag too, but if I angle the teeth way back, maybe she'll be all right. But get these home, get them stacked. And hopefully I got the other equipment parked. And the haying actually went really well this year, but my weak link really in my whole operation, the baler worked fine. You know, once it got going, kind of, them knotters caught on and it kept working. And the mower works fine. But the rake, you know, that's an old rake. And this, I had to use that. I tried to use a newer style rake and it didn't work out here. So I used the old one, and she took a bit of a beating. So I'll either have to rebuild that or try to find myself a new idea or a New Holland, but they tend to run into money. But we'll see. But I'm glad to see all these little popples going in here. But you can see if I got rid of them plums, that would open this up, and that there's one box elder up there and a pile of brush that I put there to burn. Well, I could knock that box elder out of there. That would open her up quite a little. Because like I say, these plums, they never really get ripe. They fall down right away, and they're little hard things. You know, there's much better plums out here. So I think I can get rid of these. They're just a nuisance.